more reasons why I SYSBM. So there's a lot of talk on the internet about whose fault the current state of the black community is. And this video is not to parse the point blame. Just my issue is that the current state of the black community, as it is, the cultural aspects, the way, the behavior, it is just untenable. And it is the reason why I choose the SYSBM. And that's not necessarily just for me, but for my children and for my offspring. I don't want my son being exposed to this kind of fashion at school, in the neighborhood, on television, in music videos. I don't want my children to be exposed to this. We wore our pants a little bit baggy in the 1990s, but now from the 90s it's gotten to here. And I'm not sure where the next iteration of fashion is going, but it's not going anywhere positive. I can tell you that much. And so I want to SYSBM for my future, for my offspring, because I don't want my son coming home trying to be cool by wearing his pants like this. And I don't want my daughter bringing home a boy with his pants like this, saying that this is the cool thing to do at school. I don't want any part of this. We also, SYSBM, there are some people that are above reproach in most any culture that you talk to, except ours. Listen to the youth and how they're speaking about Martin Luther King Jr.
But you're cheating on your wife. You're not a good husband. You're not a good communicator. You don't value her feelings, but he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man, a great father, a great leader in any aspect? You're not a great husband.
Martin Luther King could be considered one of the five greatest one of the five greatest Americans to ever been born. You could argue, some people could even argue he was the greatest American born. But wherever you want to place him, he's certainly one of the 10 most important and most influential Americans ever born. And if you've ever been to Washington, D.C., you'll know that. To hear the youth, the people that would essentially be the people that my children will look up to, speak about Martin Luther King in this fashion. If I heard my daughter say something like this.
A great communicator, a great...
You're a liar.
You're not great.
You're
not great.
You're a liar.
You're not great.
So that's my point.
You're not great.
So I posted this.
You're not great.
The others.
God, you're not. That is triggering.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a good dad. You're not a good dad because you don't respect me. How the fuck you showing these kids you a good father and you don't respect their mother? How are you a good father and you don't respect who brought them into this world?
Carried them.
You're not a great dad, my nigga. You're an okay human.
You're present in this.
Martin Luther King is an okay human. If I heard my daughter speak like that, if I heard my son speak like that, I might kick them out of my house. I'm not sure how to react to it, but it would be extremely disappointing. If you want to argue politics about Martin Luther King and the politics he chose of being nonviolent as opposed to whatever other possible means, fine, we can argue that. But to just character assassinate a man who essentially laid down his life for, I mean, gosh, he made America a better place. The plight of black people is the challenge that makes America continually great, because until America does right by black people, it has to do that first before it can make the whole country a better country. And we've seen it time and time with slavery and with Martin Luther King and wherever you want to go. That struggle is so important, and to have one of the figureheads of that struggle just be slandered so easily by someone who can't even appreciate him. I don't want my children to know who B. Simone is. I don't want them to know who she is. I don't want them to know her. There's no use in their lives for knowing who this woman is. I also don't want my children to participate in political discourse like this. And I can't play this song. I can't play that. Imagine if you're sitting down with your children and this ad comes on to appeal to black people to vote. Because this is not happening to any other group. This is an ad that is basically saying we have to do all of this craziness to get you to vote. When in actuality, what you need to get intelligent people to vote is to appeal to the issues that matter to them. But the unfortunate part about our community is that is not what works in mass. You're not getting people to sit down and say, we have a docket of demands that need to be met for the black people to vote for you. It's not that. We just get stripper videos. We get twerk videos. And this is our political discourse. And I don't want my child seeing this. I don't want my child this is I don't have the words for this. I don't want my child. No. And the last one I want to talk about is, in our community, Michael Jordan is darn near a deity. We revere Michael Jordan the way we should revere Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Now, I'm not saying all black people, because people that are intelligent, that have their priorities correct, there's Martin Luther King and Malcolm X on a totally different level than like, oh yeah, Michael Jordan's a great basketball player. But when you walk around and you see just murals of Michael Jordan and you see it. These murals are all over the place of Michael Jordan and just how great he is. And then you see this culture, and this is the culture that really gets to me, is just you just listen to it.
Can I talk to your shoes? I just want to talk to your shoes, man. I don't want your face. Look, I don't want your face, man.
So this child or this young man is wearing, I guess they're fake Jordans, not original Jordans. And this is such a terrible problem on two fronts. First of all, why are we spending so much money for shoes that we can't, really? Like if you have the money to spend for Jordans, that's one thing. But if you don't really have the money for Jordans, like some Jordans are upwards of $250, $300, and that's just for retail prices. For people that are trying to buy special editions, they're paying multiple times more than that. There's that part of it, and there's also the part of the need to pick on a kid about his shoes. So listen.
I just want the case right here. Oh man. From like, look, hold on from this. No, I'm not saying they. I got receipts. All right, but look, hold on from this side. They look like the fives right there. They look like.
Now listen to how particular the person who's picking on him. Listen to how well versed he is in Jordans. Listen to how much he knows about Jordans. I'm willing to bet that this person knows more about Air Jordan tennis shoes than he does the electoral platform for his local state representative. The political stances that. Listen to how well he can explain Michael Jordan tennis basketball shoes.
They look like the fives right there. They look like the fives, but when you come right here, what the hell? Oh, brother, no, man. Those ain't the five. Them must be the 5.3.7.2. No, them the .3.2s right there. The 5.3.2s. The serial code. Oh man. 002. Oh man, brother. Hold on. Let me see the bottom. He got a Air Max 270 bottom on the fives right there. Oh. Jordan never wore them damn boy. And that's it.
Now, in a certain way, you could probably find some comedy in this, but as a person who's been overseas for a little while, and I see when kids kind of jest with each other, and they play games on each other. They don't play games like this. They might play games about, oh, your hair or whatever, or someone such likes you, but to pick on the shoes that someone's wearing, especially when black people, we don't really even have any of our own shoe stores, shoe companies, shoe production vehicles. We don't have any of that. All we do is we pay sticker price for shoes that other people are making. And then if someone doesn't have the money to pay for those shoes, then we pick on them. And so either you're forced to pay this exorbitant price for these shoes just so you don't get picked on. These are just examples why I'm just trying to get my children out of this culture. I don't want my future kids worrying about Jordans. I don't want them watching stripper election videos. I don't want them listening to women blast Martin Luther King because of some improprieties that he had and overlook the decades of good that he did and making the ultimate sacrifice. I don't want my boy going to school and seeing guys walk around with their underwear sticking out. And so when I talk about SYSBM, and this is what for me, when I talk about what it means for me, it means rescuing my children and my future generations from a culture that is kind of falling in on itself. And I think when you really look at SYSBM, it's actually a lot bigger than just people moving overseas. It's not just people marrying out or moving overseas. It's people moving to certain areas so they can get their children away from this kind of culture. It's people that are trying to date people that will give their kids a different set of cultural values so that they don't go to school worrying about saggy pants and if the Jordans are the right Jordans and things like that. SYSBM is bigger. It's bigger than just guys getting passports and going overseas. It's about what kind of culture do you want to raise your children in. And so for me, when I speak about SYSBM, I'm talking about the culture, the cultural environment. And I want to escape that for not just myself, but for my sons and daughters to come, so that they can grow up in a healthy, functioning social system where that reinforces positive cultural values that are lasting, that will have permanence. So with that, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, please comment, feel free to comment, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.